I understand about, viewing all beings, including Bush and his cohorts in the White House and Pentagon, as having been my mother, misguided as they are now. And that engenders compassion within me. It softens my heart. If I were to, do a variation of Tonglen where I breathe in their aggression, their negativity, and I breathe out, peace, loving kindness, compassion, is that still only working on my heart, or if that does it at a subtle level actually have an imprint on them, like sort of a little cosmic nudge?
Oh, I think the answer to that is it has a definite impact on others. And but as a beginning practitioner, one can't expect, or one even shouldn't even think that it is having, that one is doing it for that purpose. But the advanced practitioners, like as I said, the Domdamba healed, and those Kadampas, they healed many lepers and many people. But then sometimes they would get sick themselves, and they wouldn't necessarily heal them. He didn't ultimately heal himself. So I think certainly it has an impact, even if you're not doing Tonglen, even if you're thinking in your own mind, and you shift in your own mind from being sort of bitter and angry about something in the world to being somehow saying, well, it's too bad that it was like that, and I must have created that myself, and I'm going to see to it that I don't continue that any longer. And you shift your mind from being reactive to being proactively positive. That has an effect in the world, definitely. There's really in fact, it has a huge effect, because the mind is, the karma of the mind, evolution or action, as if people translate karma as action, or evolution as I prefer, it is not just physical action. Verbal action is considered karma, very powerful karma, and mental action. So that, for example, if that's very tricky. If someone bombs Iran or something, and in my mind I think they deserved it, that's good. And in my mind I participate in a sense, and I think I'm glad they got rid of them, because they're bad or something. I'm getting the bad karma as if I bombed them. That's mental karma. And so that you have to be very careful, how you identify with people, because we do identify and we do influence, and that is a deed. To think, oh good, I'm glad they wasted so-and-so, in your mind, is killing, mental killing. It's not as bad as actually killing someone, but it gives you a level of that bad karma. So, yes, everything we do has impact on others, good or bad. And if you become an adept of Tonglen practice, then you really do take on their suffering, and you really do share off your happiness. Although I would say that the rare case of where someone contracts I wouldn't want to say that, say, Dromdamba, the great Dromdamba, Dalai Lama's first incarnation in Tibet. He did Tonglen, and he was such a poor practitioner that he just could take the suffering off the others, but then he just got it and it killed him. Because that would not be, he got it because he probably was hanging out with them and like washing their underwear and things, and like he just communicated to him. And because remember, Tonglen means there's a Tong as well as a Len. Len is taking off the suffering. Tong is sending your happiness. If you don't have any happiness, if you're not in touch with Nirvana, with your reality of Nirvana, even in touch with, I don't say necessarily encompassing it in all-encompassing enlightenment, but if you're not in touch with that, you have no well of happiness. What are you going to be sending to them? Like, here we are in misery together, let's have yours and we'll both be more miserable? I don't think so. So, in a way to really do it well, you have to combine, compassion always has to be combined with wisdom. And wisdom is where you know that your sense of being a separated self that possesses some happiness, that you can then arise above, and you can give away that happiness and take upon that separated self the thing. You know that that's an illusory process, and you have a deeper sense of your unity with Nirvana, and that's where your happiness comes from, that you share with beings. That's where your sense of well-being is drawn from, not from some memory of some momentary pleasure sometime. So that's what they say on that verse. It says, "Let all the bad things that ever happened to everybody come down and go on my egotistical self. Let it come and crush my egotistical self." And that means that the enlightened self is released, the more the egotistical one, the other cherishing, the loving and compassionate self is released, the more that the self-cherishing one is crushed. So when you take in the Tonglen, you take it and put it on your egotistical self. And when you give, you draw that from the selfless well of bliss void indivisible, as they call it.